I think we're starting.
We are starting. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to Star Trek Lexington Last of the Line. We are still waiting on other players. Chris and Matt Chris at least, should be here soon. Matt, we will see. Yes, Chris said running a few minutes late, so we will wait for his arrival before we kick off in earnest. But, yeah, we're back. Time for Star Trek shenanigans. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we do, I'm going to finish the sentence I was starting when the intro ended,
Okay, you
which
go
was
right on ahead.
so what happened was I say that I started on AD&D because that's true, but only
Okay.
technically because I started playing in 2000, which is the year the third edition was released.
I was
And
born then.
so I played, I think, 2 sessions. I played 2 sessions in AD&D before the campaign I had joined switched over to third edition.
Oh.
So it was I did start on AD&D, but I never really learned much of it before we were
Mm.
on to third edition.
I've
So
heard.
third edition is basically the first edition that I really understood.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about 3.5. I started on 5th edition, and then I heard that everyone hated 4th.
Fourth was good for what it was intending to be. The problem was, so fourth edition was they decided they were going to strip down the rules very heavily. They were going to try to target the MMORPG crowd, and so they were looking to expand their market, and so they
Mm.
set it up to function much more like a video game, but in person. And so you had, very simple, like, here's your powers, and they literally had cards for things. You could just pull out like cards for different
Yeah.
powers and know what to, but you didn't have to. But it was set up so that you could very easily just be like, this is my list of options for this round. I'm gonna do this. And move on. Like snappy.
I was hearing that
Um
like combat actually took a really long time because there was so many things to keep track of and minor
there
things.
so there could be if you set it up a certain way, but it really did facilitate just like picking a power set and being, the issue was that you had daily abilities, encounter abilities, and I think turn or free abilities or something like that. I don't remember what they called it, but basically you had abilities you could use every single turn. You had abilities you could only use once per encounter, and you had abilities you could use once per day.
Mm.
And so what would take time was deciding whether or not you really wanted to spend the effort to do a higher level ability.
Okay.
But if you were willing to just kind of follow your gut or make decisions before your turn came up, like you're kind of supposed to anyway, um, you didn't need to. They didn't take any extra time. It did speed things up a fair bit because you had a smaller set of things to actually look at. Whereas where it's very open ended in 3, 3, 5, and 5, you can just kind of do whatever you want. Everything was very regimented. You had actual moves that you were choosing between, which is very like a JRPG with its drop down menus.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it was actually really good at doing that. It's a great way to kind of get introduced into tabletop gaming without having to worry about as many rules. I mean, like I said, we were coming from 3.5, which stacks and stacks of books. You know, I mean, just I never had all of the books. My friend group, as a group, never had all of the books. And so we were going from that to this thing where you could just play a campaign off of one book, and people could pick that up fairly quickly. And so I think it was good at what it was trying to do. It's just that in order to target that audience, they had to burn a lot of bridges with their established market. And so the established market was very angry about that.
And so then 5th edition was made, and all returned to normal.
Not just 5th edition. That's where Pathfinder came from.
Oh, really?
A bunch of people who worked at Wizards did not like the direction 4th edition was. Or I think what happened was within Wizards, and this might be lore. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but as I understand it, within Wizards, they had two teams working on two ideas on what 4th edition would be. One of those versions became what was 4th edition, and one of those versions was Pathfinder 1st edition. What happened was when the company chose to go the route of what became 4th edition, the other team was so mad and hated that system so much that they left and started their own company called Paizo and released their version as Pathfinder.
I can respect that choice.
All right. Well, back to Star Trek, briefly at least. Chris is having difficulty getting into the VDO, so I'm gonna have to wait on him because he also needs to be updated on what happened last time. Because I don't believe he was here. I think he was feeling a little icky. So
I think that's about right.
So just continue waiting and see if Matt shows up.
Yeah,
He was literally messaging me like an hour ago. So where is Skippy?
I wonder if I can open Baldur's Gate 3 and still have everything I can double monitor this.
That seems. Baldur's Gate 3 sounds like it'll be somewhat intensive on your computer.
Intensive? Oh yeah, it kind of is.
I don't know if it'll have the energy to really keep up if you do that.
Well, it's all turn-based combat, so and nothing has to move. It doesn't matter if it's moving. I just need it to. It's Baldur's Gate 3 is updating. That's probably the only thing is like it updates a good chunk because they're constantly patching out even the most minor of issues because they're dedicated. I'm literally at this point. I'm just testing to see if it runs in the background. I'm not gonna play.
I would hope
3 gigabyte patch.
Well, stream, we'll get started here soon enough.
So, you wanna introduce take a stab at introducing Extra Life?
Oh, I mean, I've done it a few times. I guess I might as well. When you're not around, I have to muddle through it. I guarantee I only get like half the points you do, but
that's fine.
All right, so go ahead and do it on the front end. Tell you all a little bit about Extra Life. So here at Rabbit Haberdashery, we are all about playing games, of course. We like having fun, screwing around with each other. But we do that with a purpose. What we do here helps support Extra Life, which is a charity that supports Children's Miracle Network. And through donations there, every single cent goes to Children's Miracle Network to provide resources, both medical and things for the kids to just straight up enjoy for kids in hospitals that are going through things that I don't even want to. I can't even imagine going through at that age. It's a charity that is well worth supporting, which is why we do it. So we support hospitals all around, like Boston, Buffalo, San Diego. Is it Roanoke? I know it's somewhere in Virginia.
Norfolk.
Norfolk. There we go. Uh, Bay State. Tim's got them memorized. Like I said, he's the wizard at this. But if you go to the link that is in chat, you can learn more about Extra Life, learn more about Rapid Haberdashery and what we do here. And yeah, with that, I think it's time for Star Trek. How you doing, Chris?
Speaking of support, I had to provide my own tech support and got my camera and everything working. When in doubt, reboot.
Yes.
That's my IT wisdom of the evening. And I am chief engineer, so if I didn't figure it out myself, I would have been a really bad
Yes.
Calvo. So
yes.
It would have reflected on your performance review.
Absolutely. Captain, our captain would have given me a couple like stern looks.
Well, then again, he's not here, so he really can't say anything now, can he?
At least the good doctor, wouldn't have to take over as chief engineer.
Oh. Oh, dear. I don't even want to think about that.
We have plenty of cadavers. I would find a solution. It just would have more meat involved.
Oh, dear goodness gracious.
Yeah, that couldn't ever possibly go horribly wrong, now could it? So, all right. So, Chris, you were not here last time, so let's give you a brief update. So last session, we spent pretty much the entire time working on this data core. Good news is the team crew figured out how to make a device that can translate the Reds language, their psionic language, into English or standard with a good degree of accuracy. So we decided to wake up one of the Reds, keep it in kind of a semi-sedated state, and try to talk to it. And that's literally where we left off last time, in the middle of that whole conversation.
All right. I'm glad to see that the little headset got some good use.
Yes.
Well, I thought we talked to the Red, and then we finished that, and then, or no, they were doing that, and then I was on the planet. That's what happened.
No, you weren't on. You being on the planet, getting
I was eating a
headhunted.
sandwich. Never
Yeah,
mind.
you were in mess hall, making Detrone really sad by telling him, "No, I don't want you in Midbay right now. You can't watch the fun happen."
That is true.
Detrone
That
will
was
remember
mean.
that. Probably not, actually. I don't know. It'll come up again if it's funny. I'll put it that way. So, I'll leave it up to you guys to remember the line of questioning that you were doing for our little red friend. In the
Well, as it happens, Matt was doing it alone, but he had just called me into the room.
right.
He called me in to help.
So you were going to take over.
So I was about to take over, but obviously I'm going to need some information from him in order to do that. You know.
Well, you were at the last session, so just for the sake of the fact that we can't wait for Matt to maybe or maybe not show up, he would brief you on basically anything that you would need to know for this situation.
So would I know that it is in fact a psionic language?
He could explain that to you, yes.
Okay. Okay, because that's going to be the most impactful thing, I think, for me to know.
So good news, Baldur's Gate 3 does run very smoothly still in the background. But
Congratulations.
I'm not playing it. I just walked in a circle, threw a fireball, and now I'm back.
All right. Hilarious. Fun. All
Great
right,
game,
Tim.
by the way. Great game.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I am going to then go over there. So, being that I now do apparently know that it is a psionic language,
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally, I am going to attempt. I'm going to go ahead and sit down in front of the. What is this thing, in a cage, or is it?
And it's in a tank, basically a glass or a transparent aluminum tank.
Okay. I'm going to sit down in front of the tank and try to meditate and connect with it psionically, or at least like make myself available for psionic communication.
Okay.
I know that I don't think that I have a psionic ability to initiate communication, but I have with a high, because I do have a high psionics, so I should have what it takes to like handle and navigate that.
Okay. All right.
Especially if I'm meditating.
So, all right.
That's my hope, anyway.
You're gonna sit down there, do that.
I mean, I'll tell it because he is communicating verbally with it, right?
Yes.
Like the thing, but it doesn't seem like it really understands, for the most part, what he's talking about. From what it looked like last session, I'm sure that's how he would explain it to me.
Yes, that it seemed to be getting bits and pieces, but not the whole picture.
So I'm going to inform it that I would like to communicate with it by mind, or and then do the thing I was talking about.
All right. So its response to the first thing you say is it's going to say, "I do not fully understand, but proceed, I suppose." And I'm saying it at the pace that the words are coming out.
Right. Okay.
All right. This. Okay. So this is just pure. You're opening yourself up to it psionically, correct?
More or less, yeah.
All right. I need you to roll a combination of psionic and endurance. So 62 and 59.
Roll to
So
see
that'll
if
be
you're
61
drift
then.
compatible.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. What's going to happen is you are just going to get a flood of random abstract images in your head, coupled with a piercing screaming.
Okay.
And you're just going to, like, grab your head and, like, sort of collapse.
Okay. Am I still conscious?
Yes.
Okay. Take a deep breath. Meditate. Try again.
All right. Give me the same roll again. Okay. That one also.
It's getting better.
It is getting better. However, you have just actually taken some damage.
The nosebleed.
Yes, you're actually bleeding from your ganglia, which is
Ew.
yeah, that's fun. So let's see. You've got your current op endurance. Let's see. You missed by 8, so your current op endurance is now 51.
There it is. Okay.
No, that you changed your max, not your current.
I missed by 7. Not an 8.
You changed the wrong one, Tim. You changed max and not current.
Oh, okay.
Max doesn't change, current does.
He's permanently had damage done to his brain.
Is it still minus 8?
Let's see. So, what did you roll again? You rolled.
I rolled against a 61.
Yeah, then you missed by 7. So yes, it's a 52 now.
Okay.
right. So yeah, you're bleeding from your ganglia area.
All right.
Would you like to try again?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he using the safety
Is there?
device at all, or no? Just
No, he's just doing this raw.
okay.
Yeah. I
So
don't have
you're
I don't have any skills related to meditation. Looks like no. Okay.
so well.
All right.
What you saw this last time is you saw more images. They're less abstract this time. You can
Okay.
start to get visualizations of some things,
Okay.
but the screaming's intensifying.
Okay. So this time I'm rolling against a 57.
Pretty good.
All right. The screaming is slowly going to start to subside. What you're going to experience, though, is you're not going to hear words. You're just going to see images.
That's fine.
And it's still a lot of images. I mean, it's they're flooding past and blowing by just like 10 images a second almost. Just you can barely make out what you're looking at.
Right. Okay. That's fine. I am going to. I'm going to try to envision a like a serene waterfront on Kaminar that I'm sitting at,
Okay.
and I'm trying to gesture in such a way in that visual that I'm inviting it to sit down, that I understand as inviting it to sit and rest.
Okay. There's got to be a roll for that. What the hell is it? Oh man. Okay.
Negotiation and psionics.
Yeah, that's exactly what
getting,
I was
like-
thinking. That's
I'm
exactly what
getting
I was
some real
thinking.
like Neo in the Matrix vibes.
Yes.
It's like the world's
All right.
shifting around.
That's rolling against a 70.
Yeah, it looks right.
That and Pacific Rim.
All right. So you're envisioning yourself there. You're going to get the impression of an entity that is just formless. It's there, but it isn't there. It's going to be now next to you.
Okay.
Now, you're going to hear externally from the speaker saying, "Why have you brought me here?" In your head, it's still just images.
Okay.
To end you once and for all.
I am I'm going to visualize various greetings of different races in the Federation. Essentially, I'm trying to show it, or I'm trying to convey the sense of I'm trying to initiate conversation with you.
Okay.
I'm trying to initiate relationship with you.
All right. You're going to do that, and you're going to get the impression that this thing is just still patiently watching and waiting.
Okay. But it's watching and waiting. So here's what I can do now. I'm going to zoom out of Kaminar.
Okay.
And start showing it kind of what I believe the Federation is. These multiple different planets. I want to show different races working in tandem, in cooperation. Show it things like the Starfleet Academy and this serene and cooperative endeavor between many different races that's happening. I want to continue zooming out from that. Kind of establish that for a bit. Continue zooming out, and kind of go out enough that you can start to see, okay, planetary systems and spread around, and eventually like a galaxy. I want to show the Milky Way galaxy. And then I want to go back in. And remember the show it what I saw, because I believe when we went through the wormhole, I was watching out the window. I wasn't actively involved.
I think so.
I want to kind of show it the wormhole opening and us being pulled through it, kind of beyond our control. Kind of remember that scene of everyone not knowing what's happening and falling through the wormhole, and then going straight into the attack where their ships attacked us. And zoom out again to show a different galaxy. And I want to zoom out enough that I can show their galaxy and our galaxy. And communicate that we were here, and now we're here with you. And through the whole thing, hopefully convey that we didn't mean to come here, and we would like to go back.
The voice is going to come and say, "So your ship is not from here, and you wish to return home."
Yes. I believe. I'm going to then envision the wormhole opening and stabilized. Tavar traveling through, us traveling through, and all of the humans leaving Terra 2 and traveling through. And then the wormhole closing.
Okay. So it's going to say, "So you want the Cochrans to escape?"
I'm going to I want to kind of convey the conversation that one of the conversations that we had where they expressed desire to go home.
No, how would you visualize that non-verbally?
Yeah, because the first thing okay. Well, that's somewhat disturbing.
Yearning, nostalgia, lack of an urge to fight, compiled with like pictures of home planets and maybe something like that.
I want to. I want to show them Earth again and show that the predominant species is humans. It's the same people that are on the Cochrane that are up there. And then visualize the Cochrane itself being accidentally pulled through the wormhole as well. And I want to kind of visualize them trying to open the wormhole to get back.
Okay. Voice is going to come. "So they want to escape."
Why does it keep saying escape?
Because he thinks that they're. I think he thinks they're trying to run away from
That
the conflict
insinuates-
that they started.
Mm.
Um,
So that insinuates that they still think they started the conflict. So
Sidebar, did anybody read the notes that I posted? And probably not, but it was a compilation of everything you would have gotten off the database from the that basically everything we talked about in game, a whole bunch of other stuff we did not have a chance to that may or may not be
Yeah.
relevant.
as I understand it, both sides of the conflict know that the Cochranes started the fight. The Cochranes believe that they were justified in doing what they did, and the Reds believe that they weren't.
That is true.
Um,
trustworthy, some signs of sanitization.
I mean, you don't need.
Ruled
If
by
you want to read through it,
Empress.
if you want to read through it, pointless going through this. That'd be good, just so you can get some context on a bunch of things.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Ardestian Empire Reds from the planet Ardestia, ruled by Empress Edgar.
I don't think you meant read it out loud.
You know,
I did not.
I was just making a point that this seems like something of interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
They
would
have an
recommend
Empress.
reading that silently while Tim and I are going
Okay.
through this. So bring up any important information
Okay.
as you find it.
As I was saying, Empress Adgalar. They have an Empress.
Um, I am.
God Emperor. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to. My go-to is going to be an animal from Kaminar rather than an Earth animal. But we don't know any of the wildlife in Kaminar, so I don't know what to say.
Well,
It would be.
let's just be.
But
for lack of-
essentially,
there's some
what I'm
equivalent to whatever you want.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to convey is this animal that you can exist alongside, that you don't have to worry too much about, but when you cage it, it gets violent.
Okay.
The idea being that what I'm trying to convey is that the strife that's happening here with them is because they feel trapped. It isn't that they are inherently violent or that they even particularly want to be violent. It's that when you cage something like them, they fight to escape the cage and they feel trapped here.
Is going to be a pause until it's going to come back. Say, I do not believe that we care much why they attacked us. All we care about is that their actions be atoned for in blood. And actually, when that happens, you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of flashing images of just warfare, just ships exploding, both Cochrane ships, all three of the other species ships. Just a whole lot of destruction over the last 50-ish years.
Okay. Um, I'm going to. I'm going to try to hang on one of those, the first one, the initial contact event that caused all of this.
Okay.
What do I see from their perspective? Like, if I focus on it, is it going to is my is the person is the thing I'm communicating with going to, or will I be able to look more closely at one in particular?
You know what? Let's do a psionics roll to see how well you're able to pick through it.
Okay. Sonics and what?
Psionics and intelligence.
Okay. All right, that's a 63 I'm rolling then. $34.
Okay. So yes, you're able to pull that one image out, focus on it, and draw its attention to that one image. So what you're going to see is, so you can tell that this is not first-hand knowledge. This isn't like
Right.
he was there. This
Yeah.
is the equivalent of like what you would read in a history book if the history book was psionic.
Yeah.
So what you see is a you're not looking from either ship. It's kind of like a third-person perspective of the CDF Mars, which it's portrayed as some kind of monstrous warship in this, like something that Cochrane's don't have anything like this. It's like some
Right.
gigantic vessel, and the other one is portrayed as a unarmed colony ship with women and children aboard. And basically, the image you see is the Cochrane ship swoops in and immediately opens fire on the colony ship, half destroying it before it's able to escape.
Okay. I'm going to watch all of that and take that in. And then I want to kind of reset it and portray what the Cochranes convey happened.
Okay.
With probably a more accurate version of their ship. I'm not really going to change their ship because I have no idea what it looks like. And by all accounts, it was probably a colony ship.
I have a small note I found. Time of Cochrane Floridian interaction compelled. First contact with Destiny near Gehenna. CDF Mars encounters and attacks Ardestian ship. Cochrane's claim it was a cruiser and admit they fired first after attempting to hail 5 times and detected energy buildup. Ardestian's claim was an unarmed colony ship that lost one half its people. That's just from their drive notes.
Okay. So I'm going to try to envision it the way that the Cochranes report it.
Okay.
It's probably going to be just as clear to them that I'm conveying a historical record, that I didn't witness firsthand either. But I'm going to have to actually go into the bridge in order to show them attempting to communicate, failing to do so, and detecting a surge. Now they're not going to hear any of the text.
Yeah.
Well, I mean they'll hear
sound effects,
words, but it's not going to make any. It's not going to necessarily make any sense to them. But I want to fictionalize the hail enough that it's not going to look like what I know a human would look like if they were hailing a ship.
Okay.
It's going to look like the Mars shouting to the other ship in a way that the other ship can't hear. I want to convey that they are calling out, and the Cochrane and the way that they're doing it just does not get through.
All right. Considering that is
And
trying to make
I still have that thing,
thing.
the device that we were gonna plug into our communicators to try to allow us to communicate with them,
Okay.
with their ships.
And so what? How does
So
that?
I can show them that we've only just figured out how to adapt our communications to be communicative with them.
All right. This feels like it's role worthy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot happening here. Definitely going to be intelligence involved in this. Let's make this intelligence and negotiation diplomacy, because the intelligence for knowing how to explain it, like technically, it makes sense, and negotiation because you're trying to persuade them.
Okay.
So 63 and 77.
Oh, I thought you said and psionics.
No.
Okay. So just in. So it's. I'm sorry. Diplomacy and intelligence.
Yes, that should be
All right. So I'm rolling it to
20,
47 then.
40. Wait, intelligence and diplomacy?
Wait. Oh, it's still dividing by 3. Hold on a second.
Yes, that should
70.
be 70.
I'm rolling it
yeah.
to 70.
Oh. All right. I need you to roll another psionics and endurance against your now 52 with your, yeah, I think it's 57.
Yep.
All right. You just lost 6 more endurance.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get another splitting pain, and you're going to see images that are just evoke violence. What you're gonna hear is, "Do not insult me with your lies."
Um. I'm going to show it the scene that I walked in on in this room with Crystal verbally talking and trying to communicate with the red alien
Mhm.
through the communicator. The communicator trying to translate, and not there's a clear disconnect even with the communicator.
Mhm.
I'm going to show it that, and essentially asking, why do you think this barrier is here?
Wait, which barrier?
The barrier that's preventing it and Crystal from effectively communicating.
You say, "We know that your primitive verbal communication is inferior."
Okay. I'm going to again show the bridge crew trying to use verbal communication and not reaching, and display that same barrier. Like, I want to actually envision a physical barrier that between Crystal and the alien, and then display the same barrier between the Mars and and the colony ship.
All right. Give me another intelligence and negotiation diplomacy roll. Okay.
15.
15. All right. There's going to be a pause. It's actually going to be a long pause. Both for it and the GM to think.
Yeah. Now, I started out by showing you what the Federation was all about.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that that impacts this. That we're about cooperation across multiple species as a group. That's our thing.
Okay.
If that is our thing, and we claim we try to communicate, and we know that there's a barrier to communication, I'm hoping that those things combined show it that yes, they fired first. At no point did I deny that. And they fired on an unarmed colony ship. I haven't denied that either. I displayed that same ship in the thing, in the memory as I presented it. But I hope that that lends credibility to the idea that they were lost and confused and trying to communicate. And responded to the situation as they understood it.
Okay. So it's going to come back and say, so it is standard procedure to fire on unarmed ships when communication is not possible?
I'm going to go back and show it the power surge that it detected. And I'm going to show on other ships, because we've been in combat a few times, similar power surges just before other ships fire on us.
Okay. That is going to be another. All right, so this one's not intelligence. This one's going to be more charisma, actually. So this one's another
Okay.
negotiation, diplomacy, and charisma one.
All right. I'm sorry, you said negotiation and diplomacy?
Yes.
Or I'm mean, negotiation and charisma?
I believe I said that, yes.
Okay, that'll be a 76 then, I'm wrong against. 52.
All right. It's going to pause to think a second.
Now, I do want to communicate to it. I don't know what power surge they picked up, and I don't know where it came from or what was going on in their ship. I do want it to look like an unknown power surge, but just one that looks very like the others.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, well, we have reached an impasse here because my understanding of the situation shows no such power surge, while whatever information you're working from does. So how can I be sure that such a power surge actually happened and that's not a convenient excuse for warlike aggressors?
Do their ships have that capability?
Okay. I want to envision myself searching through the logs from the Mars.
Okay.
As not as a this is a thing that I've done, but as a assurance that this is the thing that I will do. I will seek this evidence.
Okay.
And then I'm going to communicate. I want to envision trade. That Okay. I want to envision me searching for the logs from the Mars, and I want to envision. I want to envision the being I'm speaking to, um, using our device that I have for the communications to request whatever information they have on that colony ship logs or black box, or if it has anything.
Like contacting its people.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that what it described and what what you got off the logs from the data core is basically the same thing.
Okay. All right. So. All right. So I want to envision me searching for that evidence, and I want to. All right. I want to envision um, a trade between two people
Okay.
in which they're trading boxes that are sealed,
Okay.
that they don't actually know what's in the box that they're receiving, but they're trusting that what's in there is what they've been told is in there.
Okay.
Basically, both people are getting something they don't. Both of us, neither of us really know if we can trust each other. But if we are willing to try to make this trade and trust long enough to tech it, maybe we'll get something good out of it.
That's going to be another charisma and diplomacy roll.
Okay. Which was, what was that? 70, 76. Okay. $32.
Another pause. I'm going to say, so what do you hope to gain from this exchange?
I'm going to envision a scene where both sides have stood down and neither one is that the fighting has ended. Both sides have backed down. That there is a trade happening where Terra is giving something that they have in exchange for the materials that we need for the wormhole that Calvo told me about.
Denzite.
Denzite. And then opening the wormhole and leaving the planet of Terra 2 there.
Okay.
I think the goal was to bring Terra 2 with them.
Well, they're gonna have to suck it because we have to trade something, and like if I'm negotiating the peace, I got to find something that they want, and
They got an
them
Algocli planet, maybe.
giving
You
them an
haven't built
M-class
that yet.
planet,
Not yet.
giving them an M-class planet in exchange for all of the war that they blame on the humans, and part of this whole thing. I think.
If we give them the technology to create M-class planets.
I mean, we have plenty of M-class planets back home. We're not picking up one on the way.
No, I'm just saying, like, if the Cochranes don't agree, the substitute could be we give them technology to just make their own planets,
I mean,
Since
we could, but
the
I'm
whole
not.
Cochrane thing about like, this is our like home, this is our heritage. We'll die here kind of like thing.
Well,
Could
you're
very
you're
much
putting
be
words
limited.
in their mouth.
But
You don't know.
but also, all
If
of
they're
this
willing to
conversation is
kamikaze,
happening in my head.
I know. Hey, to be fair, you need at least one intrusive thought, okay?
You
That's
really
why
don't.
I'm meditating.
Yes. Okay.
Fish
So
soon just walks in there.
so.
So yeah, I'm envisioning that scene that I just explained. Peaceful, making a trade in order to get the densite they need to open the wormhole, and then all of them leave and leave Terra 2 behind. And then they can do whatever they want with it.
Okay. So pause. I'm going to say there is one problem with this proposal, however. The Cochranes do not pay for their actions. They get to leave.
This is very much
Okay.
sins of the father, not
What-
the child situation.
I'm going to. I'm going to flash back through all of those, all that combat
Mhm.
that it showed,
Mhm.
and I'm going to essentially be asking how many people of this culture died because of that attack. How many humans were killed by you because of that attack?
Okay. So
I'm not asking for a specific number.
yeah.
The question is essentially how many does it take? How many humans is enough humans before you feel they've paid for the destruction of this one ship?
All of them.
Uh, I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to
Oof.
show. I'm going to show the many reds that are around, basically as a. They didn't kill all of you. What do you see? How this is an unreasonable escalation? If we kill one of you, is it justified to kill all of us? If you kill me, is it justified for my ship to come and destroy your entire planet?
The honor of the Empire demands it. The honor of the Empress demands it.
Okay, they're just okay. I'm sorry, but these guys give off real World War II Germany and Crusade vibes, all wrapped up in a nice little squid ink body. You didn't see what we saw, me and Chris, on that planet, Tim. You
Yeah.
didn't see what they were doing.
He didn't.
All right. Um, I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to show it the scene as best as I understand it, because I obviously I wasn't present in the room when some of this stuff happened, but it'll be in our records. I'm going to present the scene in which Saru um, in which Saru angered the Baul, what they're called, not
I,
the Baul, that's Stargate.
whatever the overlord
Yeah.
species was, the one that hunts them.
I'm going to display the scene where he became something that they viewed as a threat, and they attempted to destroy my entire race. And were stopped from doing so by the things getting shut down. As if asking, who is the aggressor here? Is the aggressor the one who was perceived as a threat, or the one who tried to eradicate an entire species over a perceived threat?
It's going to say. How does he want to say it? Trying to make sure that what I say lines up with what I already wrote. Don't want to break my own canon as I write it.
Yeah. And I mean, he was dangerous. That I think that'll be conveyed. Like, he could have killed one of them or a bunch of them, even. But breaking out of one thing and like striking one and dropping into it, compared to the attempt to eradicate the entire species, that's what I'm trying to compare against.
All right. So what it's going to say is, as long as threats to the Empire remain, it is our duty to eliminate them. So as long as a single Cochrane remains breathing, they are a threat to us. In this galaxy or another, it does not matter.
Good.
But
They
you are
consider
the
the
aggressor in that.
Federation.
That is
Hold on a
irrelevant.
second.
Sorry.
Pointless. But you are the aggressor in that. You want to hold them accountable as the aggressors who initiated as the initiators of this. You want to hold them accountable as the ones who are aggressive, but you are the ones seeking the eradication of an entire nation or of an entire species. I want to display to them that the Cochranes have never gone and tried to destroy their entire planet. Now,
That's
despite
false.
Is
there
that- or is
is a
that-
record in there of the Cochranes launched an attack towards their
Okay.
planet that was rebuffed. Actually, I think they did it twice.
okay.
That's yeah. There were 2 times that.
All right, so I'm not going to include that then. But the point is, but what I am going to display is that you are viewing them as a threat because they keep fighting you because you refuse to see an alternative. The reason the fighting is still happening isn't because they are aggressive towards you. It is that you will not back off from aggression to them. They are a threat because you are making them a threat.
All right. Let me look here a second. What they're going to say.
Call back to the cage thing.
What?
Call back to the cage thing.
The cage thing.
The species only being The species having the capacity
right,
for
right, right.
aggression, but being aggression because they feel trapped.
What they're going to say is you obviously do not know enough about these people if you believe that is the truth. And going to be
Have you-
flooded again with images of Cochrane's attacking them.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to look. I'm going to search it very visually, like in a way that it can see what I'm doing. Search for one attempt to communicate with them. Even one attempt to peacefully reach out to the Cochranes. I want to see. Has there ever been an encounter between the Cochranes and the red species in which the red species attempted something other than violence after that initial attack?
Well, it took them, gosh, more than 60 years to even be able to do basic communication. I remember when we first wound up in this galaxy,
I'm not asking about capacity. I'm asking about attempt. Have they at any point ever, from their perspective, ever tried any approach that wasn't violence? That's what I'm looking
this
for.
guy has no idea whether there was or wasn't.
All right, but this is what I'm showing you. Like, from his memory, from his thing, every single encounter he's showing in which humans and his race fought, can he show me one where they attempted anything other than violence?
Where they did, or
He
the
knows of
Cochrans
none.
did?
They did. Because I've already shown him. I'm going to look for evidence that they attempted communications with you. Like this event, allegedly, this event they tried to initiate communications. We can figure out whether or not they attempted to communicate any other times. But from your own testimony of the events between them, between these two races, has this race ever once, that this guy knows of, attempted anything other than violence toward the Cochrans?
What he's going to say is, even if I don't, that does not mean it never occurred.
Find it. I will give you. I'm going to give it the opportunity, I'm going to visualize giving it the opportunity to communicate and try to find that information. I want to know. I want us all to know whether or not the Cochrans have tried peaceful relations with the Reds, and whether or not the Reds have tried peaceful relations with the Cochrans.
Okay. All right.
That is the trade I'm offering right now. Is I'll go search the humans logs to find out how much of that they've tried. I want it to find out from its own people what attempts they've tried for anything other than violence.
It's going to say that would be a much easier proposition if you did not have me contained in this vessel.
Is this the guy that attacked us, or is this a different one?
It's a different one.
Different one, yeah.
I'm going to kind of visualize, like, hold on a second type of thing. I want to come out of the meditation and ask Crystal, for the purposes of diplomacy, and you can involve whatever security you need to, can I have this thing released in a way that it can communicate with its people?
Yes, sir, Rap. That sounds like a good idea.
I actually don't know how Matt would respond to that. Oh, the really important decisions, and he's off doing God knows what.
I also think we should give Fish a vacation because he's just so helpful all the time.
You sound like Mr. Hanky.
But I'm telling him we can't be held responsible for bad decisions about to be made.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I honestly don't know how Matt would do. We're gonna put this up to the dice.
I
So
definitely think there would be an air of caution.
Yeah,
yeah, oh definitely. Okay.
and I'm certainly allowing for that.
So 50 or above, he says yes. 51 or below, he says
We have to
no.
just do it without his consent. Got it.
All right, so 1 to 50, he says yes. 51 to 100, he says no. Okay, he will not give the green light to that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Um.
I mean, I can just open the. If you can just get Ask Fish to come down and open the tanks, anyways.
I'm going to tell Crystal I am on the verge. I think I'm on the verge of a breakthrough here, but I have to give something in return, or I have to. The only way this is going to work is if it can communicate with its people.
Damn it, Matt.
You know what?
You've changed my mind, Sir Rab.
Stop.
Has an amazing
Stop.
diplomat.
Just stop. You were going to say something, Tim?
No.
So we leaving it up to a roll, or
I mean, I already did the roll.
okay? So we could just go behind his back. The worst he could do is yell at us. Oh wait, we'll be fine. I think. I mean, there are also like 30 armed guards pointing directly at the tube, so there is that slight hiccup on the whole, strong arming situation. Because I'm pretty sure the second we do anything, they're just gonna blast him to. Is it set to kill or stun? That's the real question.
I believe they were ordered to be set to stun.
Okay. I just wanted clarification.
I know they're on stun by default, so I assume they are unless I'm told otherwise.
One unruly guy who's too nervous.
Yeah. Screw that. I saw what this thing did last time.
Set to kill, man. He's like, they won't be able to tell which person fired in this crowd of 30 people.
You know, that's why in firing squads, they always give at least one person a blank and don't say who it is. So the soldiers, after the fact, be like, maybe I wasn't the one who fired the fatal shot.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
as I understand it's most of them get that.
Well, it depends. The one I heard, only one got a blank, but it depends.
Okay.
Someone else loads the rifle for them. Anywho. Okay,
That's
so,
both
well,
interesting and terrifying.
we will definitely have to rib Matt for this, because I rolled the dice. That's all I can
Yeah.
do. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I can't argue with
Okay.
someone who isn't here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to. Okay. And
Maybe we could make a containment thing that's bigger, but he has slightly more room. We can compromise. We can't if like the whole Crystal says no to the letting him out. Maybe if we move him to a prison cell or something, we can like kind of make some slight compromise, middle ground it. Like maybe keep a psionic restraint on him and move him to a bigger containment cell.
well,
We'll be able to get a roll for that.
I think I'm just gonna. All right. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to the alien, back to the meditation. I'm going to show it me um, attempting to negotiate with the Cochranes on its behalf. Essentially, what I really need is for the leadership of Terra 2 to agree to allow me to work this diplomacy angle and agree to the terms that would be necessary for that to happen. So I'm going to show it me going to them about this.
Now, is there a question in here?
No, basically, I'm just informing it that in order to do what it's asking me to do, get it that opportunity to you know get out of this situation, get out of the cage and be able to communicate with its people. I'm going to need to go to the Cochranes, and there is kind of an implied awareness that like if they are if they're willing to work with it, then that's them agreeing to work with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not just him making empty statements on about them. That's them actively like showing a behavior of willingness. I don't know if they will or not, but essentially, we're setting this up as a test.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's going to say, so you are going to bring me to the Cochrans. Is that correct?
I mean, it was me talking to the cock, not that guy there. Um, I don't honestly know.
It could infer that if you're going to the Cochrans on the ship, that means it's going with them.
Right.
And they are going to be informed that there is a living, breathing red on board the ship.
I suppose so. We can. I mean, basically, I don't have any other way to do this right now, near as I can tell.
So, it actually doesn't even have to pause after it gets that impression. It's going to say, no, you are not taking me to those people. All right, now, who all is in the room right now?
Man, this sandwich is.
It's just me and Matt, as far as I know,
Oh, and the 30 armed
and
guards.
and the security.
Okay. I need someone roll for Matt here. Chris, you've done absolutely nothing this entire game. I'm so sorry. You're gonna roll
it's
for
all right.
Matt. So Matt, Psi, and endurance. So whatever the average, Chris, of 55 and 29 is.
What is that average? 42 I've got.
Okay, roll 42 for me. Okay, that missed by 10, so Matt's now operating with a current endurance.
Wait, did the red bypass psionic dampener?
Apparently.
Uh,
Let's see. Tim, give me another roll.
What is it?
That's going to be endurance and psionics.
That was I think that was 57 I'm at right now with that.
It's a 62 and a 46. Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second. 54. Okay. Woo! 46.
All right. So you're just gonna get pushed out of the meditation, but otherwise you're fine.
All right. Is there like a button? How did we unfreeze this guy?
We just reduced the sedative level.
Okay.
Is there a button to increase the sedative level?
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Fish would know that.
Yeah. Okay.
let's see. And
I imagine it'd be like
oh god, all of the security just passed out.
It's just me, baby.
I love how Matt brought. Okay, we'll bring all these armed guards in case something goes wrong. Every one of the guards passes out, completely useless.
Oh, the dice spoke.
The,
So,
the dice knew that they're not main characters, so they were useless. I mentioned it before, and it's true.
the only ones still around that are conscious are Crystal and Tim. So,
Main characters, baby.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
That's how we
So
do.
neither of them would have any idea how to adjust the sedative, would they?
Yeah. You could hit some buttons on the panel.
I'm not just gonna slam random buttons.
Oh,
I mean, one of them would probably be the open button. One of them would probably be the increase psionic dampener, which would probably cause some damage to them because of the feedback loop or whatever. One of them could, and if you add too much, you could overdose them, and you could probably remove it altogether. So yeah, there's some options.
so
If you want to roll that like 1d6.
how are you going to proceed there, Tim?
I'm going to call fish
Okay.
and basically just
Pass. What's rolling on?
how do I sedate? How do I sedate the target?
Okay, you see that green button on the second to top.
Sure. I mean, do I? I'm sure I do. Right?
There's a button there. Okay, you see that one?
Okay.
Don't hit that.
Okay.
Okay. 2 down and to the left. There's a red one. Hit that one and then turn the dial 75 degrees to the left.
Okay. I'm going to do that, and if he's lying to me, I'm going to murder him myself.
That is the truth. Not lying.
All right. As you do that, both of you give me another roll. Same one. Psionic and endurance.
I just want to pull the whole. You see that man in a red shirt on the dock. It's like, don't shoot him. He's my son.
Crystal's fine.
54 I was rolling against, so I'm
Oh,
fine.
Chris. Oh, yeah.
All right, so you're both fine. The machine, as this is happening, now as you hit it, and he starts to nod. I was going to say, let's see, what is he going to say?
Nothing good.
Oh, it won't be good. I just got to think. What's it going to say?
Some sort of like completely alien slur.
Reminds me
No.
of like that scene from Independence Day, you know.
The no peace scene.
Yeah.
No, not quite. Although they did have Brent Spiner in it, and technically we have Brent Spiner playing Fish soon. So this is because some reason there's a very, very strong gene in that family that all the men look identical.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Over like 400 years. That has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
Listen, they started out playing with genetics. I would remind you.
That
We have never seen Assume pre them playing with genetics.
This is also true. All right, so back to the red. All right. It's going to say that death to you, death to the Cochrans. Long live the Ardestian Empire.
Yeah. Heard it all before.
And it's under again.
So, how many of the guards passed out?
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
No,
Yep.
like Fish was saying that on his communicator to Sorab. So, how many of
All-
the of the extra men that were brought actually did anything?
They're all passed out.
Yep. Sounds like they need Dr. Fish stat.
I'm eating a sandwich. Get the unpaid interns to do their work. Tuna fish, pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to. I guess I'm going to. I'm going to turn to Crystal, and I'm going to say. It is very difficult to avoid things like this when we don't allow diplomatic solutions. And then I'm going to walk out and return to what I was doing before you called me.
Okay. I'm gonna bring up something to Mr. No Lungs. Sitting across from the table from me.
You walked away from him, I thought.
Huh?
You
No,
did?
no. Well, I was sitting at the food. I was eating tuna fish, and then he came up to me, and I was like, "Hey, you want some food?" And he's like, "I was wondering if I could see that." And I was like, "No, you can't." And then he just just nothing further. I just assumed he.
Yeah, I
just
thought
was
you
there
walked.
eating
I
food.
thought you said you walked away at that point.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't with you during this past exchange. So if you want to talk to him,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go find him.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna since he's not there, I'll be like, So they're having an issue. Maybe I could build some sort of device that could make them only happy and non-aggressive.
You're
Huh.
gonna dope them. Nice.
No, all I'm saying is maybe I'm thinking. I mean, out of context, I know that they can. There's psionic encryption, which we're probably going to find out about soon. I'm thinking maybe I can hack their psionic waves, reprogramming basically the psionics in technology, and then we could just turn them into peace-loving, happy alien races instead of the mega death genocidal ones. Is it ethically good? No. Is it a solution that would result in less bloodshed? Yes. When, like, the race you're trying to fight is death to all living sentient creatures of this species, maybe turning them into pacifists isn't the most morally evil decision.
Sure, let's just lobotomize a race.
It's not lobotomizing if you just make them incapable of aggression.
That
I'm pretty
I
sure.
feel like that's the definition almost.
I thought
One of the
lobotomize was they're basically like completely unable to do something.
no, lobotomizing
No,
is
no.
destroying part of the brain. So you'd
Well,
be
I'm
destroying
not. I'm
the part
just
of
suppressing it.
metaphorically
so they can get it back.
destroying the part of the brain that's responsible for aggression.
Well, it's not being destroyed because their entire body is a brain. So what I'm doing is I'm just making them forget that they can be aggressive.
So you're damaging the memory centers. Nice.
No, I'm just you know when you have like something on the tip of your tongue that you can't quite remember, and it's like I could have sworn there was something I had to do 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it doesn't end, and they don't
That would be-
remember that they forgot about it.
Imagine living like that constantly. That's torture.
Oh no, I can't slaughter innocent children from that alien race. How will I go on with my gardening and botany?
Lord above.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh. Well, I think it's finally time to actually move the rest of the plot forward. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
trying to
sorry.
remember.
I was hoping that scene would go a lot faster than it did.
Yeah. Well, this
I really
has
was
lasted.
not planning to occupy the entire session.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's just this whole thing's been going on multiple sessions now, but glad we're there. So, I'm trying to remember where we were time-wise. Had we started heading back to Terra 2 yet? I don't think
I
we
believe
had.
so.
Or was this happening on the way?
Yeah,
I
I
guess
thought it
let's-
was.
Sure, this is happening on the way back.
Were we
That's-
attempting the Algocli plan first, or was that's a
You're-
fallback, so we didn't need to worry about that?
Well, that's still in progress. According to
Okay,
the
so
timeline,
because Because I'm
Let's
lost
see.
on the timeline.
Yeah, by the time you get back to Terra 2, it will be have been 7 days since you went through the wormhole. It is now November 25th, and the Algocli's not going to be done for another 3 days.
Okay, I just wasn't sure, like, if the plan was to do all the prep stuff and then set that up, or like, so it's to go back to communicate with the Cochranes to see if they're okay with the stuff we want to
Yes,
do, and
so
then get them. Okay.
Tim can refresh me. As I recall, I'm sure I've forgotten details because that's what I do, but the basic plan that we are going back to the the Terrans, the Cochranes, is to ask them, hey, can we use the wormhole machine to transport this planet to Terra or to Tavar to fix its orbit? What am I forgetting?
I mean, there's actually kind of a lot that we're trying to do all at once,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly. Of which that is one of the plans.
Okay. But which of these pieces require working with the Cochranes? What are you
Um,
asking the Cochranes? I know that was one piece.
I know it's the evacuation.
Right.
That was
Help with
part
the
of it.
evacuation.
right, yeah.
It's been a
So
few
we're
weeks.
going to need help with the evacuation, and
The wormhole.
possibly we might need some scientists to help work out an alternative. If we can't, if we can't, if the wormhole idea isn't going to work.
So you
Remember,
told me to ask.
because remember, there's three teams. There's the logistics of the evacuation team. There's the throw a planet at a team, and there's the find a different plan that doesn't involve throwing a planet at it.
The blue sky thinking plan, the brainstorm.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Okay. So the evacuation, the Algocli goes with the evacuation plan.
Yes,
Yes.
that's part of finding a place to evacuate to.
Okay.
Is essentially what that actually is.
All right. So let's boil this down. So what exactly are you asking the Cochranes for?
Manpower for the evacuation and access to the wormhole techs
I
because
mean,
we need to use the wormhole to throw the planet, right? And they're the ones that control that.
we haven't talked about exactly what we're asking them for. So I imagine it's mostly just whatever they can contribute to what all of those, to as many of those as they can do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know that we have actually discussed a specific goal for what we're trying to get out of them beyond just as much help as we can get on as many of these things
You'll probably
as
want
possible.
some specific petitions if you're going to be talking to the council again.
Yeah, well, um, I'm sure we will. Yeah. That is also. I mean, I'm not like in charge of that.
Yeah, a lot of that happening right now.
So like,
Dang it, Captain Skippy. You abandoned us in our hour of need. Oh, okay.
Does anyone show up on the way to the planet or no?
Show up. What do you mean show up?
You know what I mean.
No. Don't worry about that. That's going to happen
Okay.
later.
Okay.
I already have that exactly planned out how it's going to happen.
Because I have no idea how that's happening.
And
so I'm
that
just
that can't happen now. That's going to have to come after this. You talk to the
got it.
Cochrans. Just don't try to force things.
No, I just was curious because I wasn't sure how the timeline's confusing. Okay.
It is very confusing even to me. So we're going to be.
I
fudging
don't. Yeah, I
things,
don't
but
have a timeline in front of me. I'm just like, I hope this is how time works.
like any good Star Trek story, we're going to be fudging timelines on some things, especially in terms of how long it takes to get from point A to point B when plot demands it. But we're not going to worry too much about that for the moment. Okay. Well, nothing final can be decided until Crystal's here. So we are definitely going to punt meeting the council to next week. But in the interim, you can be discussing what you would like to say, and then we'll run that by Captain Kitty Cat next week before we actually meet them.
Okay.
And all three of you, please contribute.
Yeah. I just
Definitely manpower. I mean, to me, it's just as simple as we ask for manpower for the evacuation.
Okay.
We ask if they can decide to, because they're going to do testing on the wormhole. If they can do a test to try and move the planet that we need to slingshot, as the test, which was Tim what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
So that would be 2, and 3. Did we ever talk about actually getting them to do the peace talk meeting? Was that confirmed, or was that just still an idea we were throwing around? The whole like peace meeting.
I don't.
Seems like the Reds probably wouldn't join.
Well,
At least this point. Death to all isn't exactly a great opening line. I'm just saying.
Well, that wasn't their opening line. That was their closing line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it.
I mean, to be fair, it was kind of a lot of their middle lines too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we just found an angry one. Maybe there are nicer ones.
That was the one that didn't slash open my chest.
Well, it wound up knocking out 30 security, so obviously it wasn't
Yeah.
the friendliest. Tried to give Sorab brain cancer.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's all right. I've had worse.
Really?
Not than brain cancer. Just clearly, I've had worse attacks.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know what caustic planet Sorab was stationed on but okay. Yeah, to me it seems pretty cut and dry. At least since a lot of this is like, here's our game plan, and then we'll figure out what to say in person, because dynamic dialogue versus what we think we're gonna say. I'm totally up for making some unethical rolls on the very ethical brains calmer.
Well, actually, I think we're going to give Chris due for our last 20 minutes because he's been sitting there nice and patient like a good little boy. Thanks, Chris. We love you. All right.
Thank you for being the backbone of our ship, because this thing would not fly without you.
Literally.
Yes.
All right. Well, Calvo's going to be on just adjusting things in engineering as Calvo does. When lo and behold walks in everyone's favorite Tavarin, Detrone. He's going to walk up to you and say, Chief Engineer Calvo, how are we doing this lovely day?
Oh, always something in engineering I have to fix. But what can I do for you?
He's going to chuckle and say, yes, that's both doctors of the body and doctors of machines, I understand. Something's always going wrong. He's going to look down at his chest and say, especially with me these days. But, to the point. Now, I have, probably understandably so, have a long fascination with warp technology, especially since it's something that my planet barely has dabbled its toes into. Would you be opposed to me just taking a look around and getting a lay of things?
Oh, I would be happy to give you a tour of anything you'd like to see.
Ah, an amiable man, I like it. So, are you going to start doing the tour right now, or wait?
I'll assign what I was doing to my handy dandy assistant CJ and start the tour.
Gonna mutter something about, I do all the work around here.
I'll make you put the hat back on.
You're just gonna hear trembling.
That sounds like my normal life.
All right, so you'll start walking around, and he'll look up the things say. So, Calvo, I have the most basic of understandings, very, very rudimentary, but can you explain to me in your own terms warp field theory and how it's practiced in your starships?
I'll go through some of like warp field technology, like 101 kind of thing, and throw in some like fancy, buzzwords and like a buzzword bingo kind of activity, and
Yeah.
see if that entertains the good doctor.
So, I noticed an odd coincidence. You mentioned the name Cochrane multiple times in your descriptor of these theories and components. Would that be in any way, shape, or form related to the Cochrane that our Terra 2 friends are named after?
I would say yes, or could be inspired by.
Well, yes, you would know that that ship would have been named after Zephyr Cochrane, the inventor on
Okay.
Earth of the warp drive. So.
Yep, James Cromwell.
Yes. He was played by Cromwell in the documentary, of course. Right.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Huh.
On
Fascinating.
Starflix.
On Starfleet.
God, Chris. Okay. Um,
Pop culture will never die.
it will not. That's what they say. Huh.
But
Oh, please go ahead, sir.
yeah, I said yes. It is inspired by one of our founding engineers named Zev Cochran, the father of our warp technology.
Interesting how these things go full circle. The man invents warp drive, and now you come out here and find a group of people who bear his name. I don't know if ironic is the right word for that, but it is at least interesting.
The irony, it's like a Shakespearean play, or on Endor, it's Zablukla Sata play. I don't know. That's the name of our Shakespeare play, right?
Yes.
Zablaka Kututa or something like that.
You've never experienced Shakespeare until you've experienced it in the original Andorian, right?
Mhm. Was it Hamlet and Klingon as well?
To
Yes.
oog or not to oog? That is the query.
To kapla or not to kapla? That is the
That
question.
is. The answer is always to kill your enemies, though, so they would love Hamlet.
Yeah, killing people solves a lot of problems in that book and created a lot.
Generally, killing people creates more problems than it solves. We're getting into
Yeah,
philosophy.
until
We are getting into
kill enough
philosophy.
people, there won't be any problems left, though.
So he's gonna be looking around just at things, and he's gonna wait until you get to a point where there's not really anyone nearby. He's gonna say, "Are you happy with your job on the ship, Calvo?"
And I'm going to say yes. I'm very, very satisfied with the work that I am performing for the captain and for Starfleet.
He'll nod. He'll nod. He'll run his finger along a console, find no dust, and say, "Have you ever considered attempting to achieve more?"
I guess it's every engineer's goal to achieve, uh, more in their life. But I believe I can find that with Starfleet, especially now that I've been able to step up and take the chief engineer role from the one that is missing. If they ever come back, I believe this will set me up to a good spot for future commendations and promotions within Starfleet.
That is that's indeed a possibility. Of course, it's a large fleet. There's only so many starships, only so many chief engineer positions. Now, what if I told you that there's an opportunity where you could be the top man on the ladder from day one.
Oh, does this ladder have a very stable base?
Well, it would be the chief of our warp drive development in Shinzia, so I would say it has the stability of an entire nation behind it.
Hmm. I've been to ladders, and I have a very, somewhat fear of heights if not secured properly.
He'll chuckle and say, then allow me to adjust my metaphor. The top floor of a very strong and very sturdy building, shall we say.
Oh, that makes me feel more comfortable.
Good, good. You're not afraid of heights, I hope. Otherwise I may have put my foot in my metaphorical mouth.
No, no, no.
Oh,
That just was just me playing on the metaphorical foot in the mouth.
very good.
Assuming this species has feet.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, no, they look basically identical to humans. So,
Oh, okay.
well,
Except they
like
don't have like four toes or something.
no, well, actually, you've never seen their feet. You don't know, but
No.
it's one of those species that like when the show budget was running thin, they just made a species that didn't need any makeup for it all. So,
They just put it like pointy ears on somebody and said, "That's a species."
or just like painted a
Yeah.
one line down their forehead. Done. No,
Ah,
with these, no, they look human. Basically, you cannot tell the difference from the outside. But anyhow, getting off topic, I'll say, where was
so the building would not fall over on top of me.
Oh no, most certainly not. In fact, you would be instrumental in making that building even larger and even more stable.
I say I am very honored, um, maybe with a proposed idea, but I am planning to stick it out with Starfleet. But I'll say, though my assistant CJ absolutely loves heights and has, quite a, he doesn't mind jumping into like a catastrophe if something happened. I'm sure
Unfortunately,
you could
that pun will escape him.
you could talk to him meow, or I mean now.
That one won't escape him. Oh, you and your Earth language
Punny
ease.
ways.
Yes, I unfortunately speak in puns because my English was taught by somebody who had a very bad sense of humor.
Sounds like an absolute delight.
I am something as of a Casanova when it comes to in the Andorian language, but unfortunately I cannot really speak that very well here.
Well,
Not enough Andorians on the ship.
I've noticed a good handful. I know your science officer, though I haven't seen him around for quite a while. I'm not sure. Um, but yes. All right then. So I hope you don't mind me just putting out feelers there. I'm always on the lookout for the best interests of my nation and my planet, of course. And
I
when
could never get angry at somebody who's looking to better their society.
I
And I am very honored by the conversation. Thank you very much.
of course, of course. Now, please, hopefully, don't take this to me as this all was just an excuse to try to recruit you. Of course, no. I. But by this time, you're going to be basically at the warp core. The main core itself is going to say, "Well, I never went into these kinds of technological fields. It has long fascinated me, even since a boy. In the first days that I learned about the warp drive existence, it has caught my rapt attention."
Yes, I know my aptitude is in the engineering arts. I always had a fascination with the medical field, but I
Mm.
definitely do not have. I have a thing for blood. Oil can look at all day. Blood, not so much. So, and then after seeing what happens to you when you get into the medical field, a la our good Dr. Fish, I decided I don't know what kind of fumes they smoke, but I'll rather have engineering fumes over whatever medical ones are causing that. That is a scary situation.
You'll get a good laugh out of him. Oh, don't insult my good friend Doctor Fish. I, I may or may not owe my life to him at this point. So he has his quirks, but really, don't we all? Really
He
don't.
he can take our breath away, but he can also give you breath as well.
That's exactly what
I'm
he
so
did.
happy. This is so nice.
Um, I don't know where the hell I was going. Let's see. There was a place I was going. Oh, let's say he'll look down at his lab coat and say, "But yes, engineering. His lab coat is just very white." He's gonna say, "I found out long ago that blood is easier to get out of clothing than oil. Oh, so I guess you could say I prefer dealing with the former."
Very respectable.
Yes.
Something that I am, grateful people get into. I have certainly taken advantage of many of the health services when needed. You don't work in engineering without getting a good shock or a finger chopped off from a bulkhead of some kind. Those
Yes.
newbies really can cause a ruckus to your digits.
You've had finger amputated before?
Oh yes, there was a young engineer that didn't quite know what they were doing, and whoop, there went one of the fingers. Thankfully, it was only a finger, not an antenna. That would have been an off-centered antenna is not a very pretty thing to look at in my society.
Hmm. Imagine.
As you know, I show up like a finger that's like just a little off, like center a little bit.
Huh. If you hadn't mentioned it, I'd have hardly known.
Thankfully, the doctor we had at the time, this was on one of my early deployments in my career, was able to get it just right. But being it was an older ship, he didn't have the latest, so it's off by a couple millimeters. But I like to think of it as a uh, you know uh, badge of honor.
The medical technology you people possess amazes me as much as your warp technology. I mean, the fact that I the fact that I'm able to do that after my original pair of lungs effectively melted out from inside me, that's a testament to how far quantum leaps your people are from ours technologically. I'm hoping with our cooperation, my people's induction into the Federation, that we can close that gap for the betterment of all Tavarans, not just Shenzians, of course.
Absolutely, I foresee a good working arrangement, but I leave all the details to those amazing negotiators. They're the true glue that holds things together, not me.
Of course, that's all going to depend entirely upon how the next few days, weeks, possibly months go before we can hopefully return to where we belong, because it's not much point joining the Federation when it's a few million light years away, no?
An experience as with experience in long distance relationships, it's very very hard.
I would hope it wasn't at this length.
Thankfully, even if it was a couple light years away, still hard.
Yes, yes. Ah, well, this has been a pleasant conversation, my dear friend. I feel I have I've taken up enough of your time. I'll go find someone else to bug. Maybe go see what the doctor's up to.
If you see the good doctor, give him my regards. And I do like an Andorian, antenna wiggle.
He'll look. He'll give a slight smile, nod, and head out of engineering. And now he's going to come find you, Fish. What are you doing?
Probably entering back into my lab to find the 30 unconscious guards lying on the floor.
Well, that
I
would
was
have that
gone
would have
for
happened.
10 minutes.
That would have happened a long time before what just happened.
Oh, a long time before. Okay, so when he did find me, I was eating a sandwich.
Again.
Another one.
Yes. Yes. This is a separate sandwich.
Always
A new
more
sandwich.
sandwiches.
This one is rhubarb.
I'll approach and say, "We do like your sandwiches, dear doctor, don't we?"
Not really.
I
I
Ah.
eat them for sustenance.
Well, you could have fooled me. What do you enjoy eating? So I may want to see if I can have our Shinzian chefs learn how to make it for you.
In truth, I don't really enjoy eating as much as I enjoy experimenting and researching. What I do enjoy about eating food is when I dissect it. But again, that's more of just my hobby of biomechanical engineering. Food is simply a tool for me to sustain myself, and I eat different foods depending on, well, what sustenance I need.
Well, I will say there is something for enjoying the finer things in life. I do appreciate your sentiment in that. At the end of the day, what truly matters is what gets us where we need to go. Isn't that so?
True. There's an end goal for everyone. And I know mine. And food isn't really a part of that. Anyways, you want a sandwich?
You know? I believe that's. I'll take you up on that offer. Thank you, sir.
3D print. I'll hit elbow the machine like a jukebox, like a can. Just 3D print another rhubarb sandwich.
He'll take it, look it over a second, take a bite, and go. Can't say I've had any flavor like that before. It's
It's got a bit of a kick to it.
acceptable. But now, the real reason, I'm sure you could guess this is all prelude. So the real reason I came down is I'm deathly curious what happened in the lab after our last conversation. I heard rumors of a whole lot of security people having a very unfortunate time.
Yeah, all you really need to know is there was one squid and 30 now unconscious men. About the gist of it.
It's a quite dangerous squid, it seems.
I did plan on making some. From what information I gathered, it has quite the aggressive personality as well as its species. So I was thinking of maybe doing a bit of a test drive on psionic adjustments. I haven't quite tapped into the field, but I believe that there is the potential that if the creature has a high enough psionic potential, you can theoretically tap into it like a code. And if you were to rearrange the code in the right way, you might be able to reprogram a psionic creature. It's more of a theory at the moment. I'd pull out a few papers that I would start writing up, but I feel like there might be something here.
He'll take a
Potential
look.
solution to the Reds.
He'll take a look at one of the papers and say, "Oh, my dear doctor, I know you complain frequently about your unpaid interns being incompetent, so would you care for the assistance of someone with a little more experience?"
Sure, why not?
I believe this
I'm
will
not
be.
paying you though.
Oh no, the work itself is payment enough. I believe that's how your federation operates.
I raise my hand out to him. Welcome aboard, unpaid ally.
Much appreciated. And with that completely not ominous handshake, we're done for tonight.
What was ominous about that? There was nothing.
The funny thing is, I'm not sure what makes it more ominous, you or Detrone.
When you can't tell who's the real the danger.
Yes. Okay. Well, that was fun. 30 minutes of completely BSing. Okay. No, that was good. Good progress. A plus all around, but everyone still only gets 1 point. I'm sorry.
I'm impressed we got a point today. I mean,
get-
we did. There was a lot of social foo right there.
Well, I mean, you always get at least one.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
I do like the points. They're gonna go in my collection.
yes. You better be spending them.
What?
You better be spending them.
I have a 99 in biomechanical engineering. What else am I supposed to put?
What else have you used?
A couple skills.
Well, spend it on
I,
them.
I only used one skill tonight.
I like collecting them.
And Chris didn't. Chris rolled for Matt, and that's it. So
I actually didn't roll at all tonight.
No, the only person.
I think this is my first. I got an achievement. First time I didn't roll anything.
Yeah, the only people that did rolls were Tim and Matt.
Yes.
So. Okay. Well, gentlemen.
Yeah, I gotta head to bed.
Yeah. Well, that was entertaining. I don't know what else to say because we already did the. We already talked about Extra Life. Someone wants to post the link one more time. I will direct people to that again. Because I don't have. For some reason, it will not let me type it in. Yes, Tim does that.
There.
Once, going twice. There it is. All right. So visit that link. Learn more about Extra Life. Learn more about us here. And as a reminder, the first weekend in November, we are going to be having our Extra Life 24-hour gaming weekend on Saturday and Sunday, going from 9 to 9 Saturday to Sunday, going over. Going to be continuing the previous game that we were doing, In Memoriam, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. Tim will be running that, so we'll get to see what he has planned for us then. So please tune in November for the glorious continuation of that story. But I've got nothing else, so I think what?
You can invite them to the Discord.
Oh, there's a Discord. Yeah, come visit us on the Discord. Join the Discord. We do lots of things there. I usually do it for Star Trek stuff, but Tim posts a lot of memes. He really does post a lot of memes. They're good memes. You should watch them.
Yeah.
You should look at them and laugh.
Yeah.
They're worth laughing at. And remember, Tim, they're laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah.
That is the important distinction.
I always assume that. It's
good.
Fine.
Very good. That is good for your self-image. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why I went there. Whatever, man. I'm tired. You ever one of those days where you got up but you didn't actually wake up? That's today.
Oh yeah.
That's today for me.
Yeah.
So,
That's today.
usually it's not that bad. I literally fell asleep at the office today. That never happens. It was
Oh
bad.
man.
It was bad. But that's not your problem. That's a me problem. That's a problem that can be solved by me going to bed, which I think all of us want to do relatively soon. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. In that case, nice work, gentlemen. See y'all next Thursday. And live long
Live long and prosper.
and prosper.